And so we have to do this if you haven't done it before. This is how you respec. I want them to get rid of this process for doing like a regular respec like we're doing, because we're not actually reincarnating. We're not doing a racial and epic, iconic, or heroic reincarnation. We're respecking. The fact that they call it a lesser reincarnation, that should just be a respec, and it shouldn't be part of this process at all. It should actually be like a button on here. It shouldn't. You shouldn't have to pay for it. You should be able to punch it and respec. But until they take my advice, we have to pay. And these things aren't cheap, dude. This is like, I think it's $8 US. You see, it doesn't give you anything. If for some reason you weren't upgraded to a 32-point build and you bought it or unlocked a 32-point build, when you respec yourself, that would allow you to apply the, you know, the 32 points to your build. But, I mean, most people have already unlocked that or done it. If for some reason you were new, that would be a reason to do that. All right, so there's that. So, yeah, I mean, I really hope that they simplify this process, because I think it's one of the things that puts a lot of people off, because it makes it really difficult to test a lot of different build variations. But so what we have to do is log off and then log back in again, and that will allow us to do the actual respec. Okay, so because Dragon Disciple is an archetype, I don't need to actually do like a +1 hard or a +20 hard. I can just select regular monk, right, and then do that. And so we are going with a 20 dex, and not sure where we're going to wind up with our other skills. 12 and then maybe 2, I think. I think that looks good. Not going to worry about my strength, because I have a +8 tome on this character, so like those low stats will be brought up. I mean, obviously, if I had a ton of points, like if I had reincarnated a few more times, you see I'm a 30-point build, I could get to, what is it, like 34-point build, so like I could put points around. I'd probably either, if I didn't try to get my con. So I was talking to people, so there was somebody I talked to who'd like dumped their con completely. Now, I don't want to do that, but like, and they still had a really decent con at endgame. I think their con was like 60 or whatever at endgame, which isn't like, that's not terrible. I think my con on the character that I'm reincarnating from had like a 50 something. So, and I start with a 14. So I don't really feel that bad starting with a 12. I could technically, I say it looks like I can't get it to 14, but I could do, like, I could do that, right? I'm just not sure. So we have 16 points. If I do this, now I have 20 points. I don't know if I'll need the 20 points. So we need UMD, we need perform. We want jump. I'm gonna take tumble. We need concentration. So it looks like I probably would benefit from getting the extra points. So that's where we're gonna wind up. Like I said, if you have different points here, or if you didn't do a drow, if you did like a tabaxi, your point spread would be easier to manage than what I'm dealing with here. But I think that's fine, because our wisdom is going to be buffed. We're going to be in water stance. It's going to be fine. We're main statting dex anyway, so we're not really going to worry about that. So I just basically need to make sure. All right, so we want that maxed. We want that. I like to do an allure skill as well. But for now, I'm just gonna do like 1 and 1. That way we know like later on. So I've got 2 jump. I technically could, because, you know, if having jump at early game, like if I were gonna play this character starting from level 1, I probably would do this. And then later on, as I leveled up, I would add dex, diplomacy or balance if I needed it. So like, let's do that. Let's do that. This is more realistic to how if I had to play this character at level 1. I'm actually going to go put it back there because that's probably what I would do, but I just wanted to talk about this stuff as we're in the skill section here. And then the build, where we start, point blank shot and dodge. DDO Builder is on version 2.0, so anybody who's used the old version of DDO Builder, you can't access your old builds unless you update them to the new program. But the new program actually works a lot better than the old program, I think. And they're adding this like DPS will allow you to like calculate your DPS. So I'm hoping that it gives us the ability in DDO Builder to sort of spec out changes to our build DPS, but we'll see. The only one issue with the DDO builder that I have, which is exactly what just happened, it crashes a lot. Yeah, I mean, it keeps crashing. All this stuff, just basically gonna do the presets that I always do. I always go with white hair. The thrower will give her the, yeah, that one there. That's fine. And then I don't get to pick my alignment because it's only, like I said, we're just respecking. We're not actually reincarnating. All right, there we go. All right, so now we're here. So we're doing a monk, and we're going to stick with the essentials, right? We're doing UMD, tumble, jump for now. Eventually, like, we don't really need to go over like 10 jump, but we can keep it, but concentration is essential. We're going to keep going with perform. And now I have 1 extra point. What I'm going to do here is throw it into Diplo. Later on, if I get extra points, I'll throw it into balance. If you wanted to play like stealthy, you could do hide. If you wanted to play like with search, like if you're the type of player who wants to be able to find secret doors, a lot of people do that, right? Precision here. And we're doing shot on the run, basically, so. Okay, there's that, and then we're just gonna keep going Diplo. So UMD, perform, tumble, jump, concentration, and then we're adding Diplo, and then once we get Diplo caught up, if we get any extra points, I'm gonna throw them in balance, but like I said, you could throw them in search, you could throw them into heal, whatever you wanted to do. We want to take archer focus, if we can get it. Yeah, precise shot. And we're going to do the dark path. Okay, and we're going dex every level up. Here, we're level 5. So I want probably mobility, definitely, right? And then do I have access to shot on the run now? No, spring attack. Level 6. Probably here we should take... Yeah, we can take shot on the run. I should probably take rapid shot here. Fire ranged attacks faster. We could also take like 10,000 stars. But we need all of it, so... Alright, more decks. We need more decks. We've almost got Diplo caught up. We'll get it caught up next level. At level 9. Oh, actually, it might not be 100% caught up yet. Yeah, next level it'll get it caught up. This here... So, we're at level 9. I normally would go for the improved crit range, but it doesn't look like we qualify for it yet. So, I'm going to grab 10,000 stars now. Alright, there we go. So, Diplo's caught up. So now... That's easy, right? Now that's good. And now we have the extra point for balance. More decks. Okay. And we're just going to keep going. Okay, that's good. And, like, you know, you don't need... Like, we could just go for 5 balance and then just throw some into heal. Which is what I might do. Like, heal will help when we rest at a shrine to get more hit points back. Or you could do haggle if you were, like, on a new server. Like, if you're on Cormyr and you wanted to buy sell for more. You could do swim if you wanted to have a faster swim. I wouldn't recommend that, but you certainly could. Probably hide and move silent would work too if you wanted to be a stealthy-ish type of character. Although, I think I would only do that if I were on, like, a multiple past life tune that had a lot of points. So we're going to be level 12. That means that I want to take the crit range. So there's our thrown weapons. A lot of monk leveling up is really simple. There's not a lot of stuff to decide on. Alright, so we've got our balance to 6. That's pretty good. So we've got 1 point here. We definitely want to consider taking deflect arrows if we have a spot for it. Something else that we definitely want to try to get into the build if we have a spot for it is... So we're skipping improved precise shot. We don't need any of that, but quick draw. Now we can get quick draw on a gem, so we technically don't need to take it. However, it is important for throwing weapons because it lets you throw a lot faster having quick draw. So like a lot of people who do thrower builds like will take it as an actual feat. However, like I said, you can get it on gear. It comes as a gem. You can loot the gem. I think it's out in the Feywild. It's like level 6. So like you can add it on a slot. So what we're going to take right here, we need to make sure that we get shot on the run, right? Because that's going to remove the penalty for movement and also give us 6 range power. And we cannot get that on a gem, right? At least, I mean, maybe it does come on some gear somewhere in a raid or something like that, but it's like, it's not common. I don't know about it being on gear, so... But I do know that the quick shot, the quick throw thing is. But it's going to be based on like how you're building your character. Like if you did like a multi-class with fighter, you probably have extra feats. That would be a feat that you'd want to take if you were doing a thrower. And then there, I forget what the other... So we're almost there, so we're gonna see what's available. All right, of the things we're considering, deflect arrows. I know I have the quick throw on as a gem, so like quick draw. So right now, just for us, I'm going to take deflect arrows. But if I need to change that out later for some reason, if I couldn't get quick throw or quick draw on my gear, I'll swap out and swap it with that. It's one or the other, right? That's the good news. Hand like feet, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. We're doing max dex. So I'm redoing my monk thrower. We're doing dexterity. I have 4 points. You know what I'm going to do with these last 4 points? Because I don't really need any more in balance. I'm going to throw these 4 points into heal. That way, when we rest at a shrine, our heal is a little bit higher and we'll... You could, you know, just stay balanced, but... Alright, so now here, we have a couple things to consider. One, we want combat archery. We want eerie aim. We want improved martial arts. But, like, the first one that I think is the best to take is probably this overwhelming critical. It's 19 or 20 to crit. Like, it's going to make our hits hit harder. So that's, you know, but that's going to be up to you which one you take first. We get a class feat here. So we're going to take Holy Strike because that's going to synergize with our Shirati. All right, we're sticking with Dex. Okay, and then here, I'm going to take the improved martial arts. Okay, that looks good. And here, we're going to take double shot. Okay, now for this one, probably combat archery is what I'm going to take. Range damage is increased by 1 weapon and adds dodge using a ranged weapon. So combat archery for us there. We're getting up into the level where we're going to start adding those aims. So like legendary aim, eerie aim will help us out. This one here, I'm not exactly sure. So there's a few different ways you can look at this particular one. Crush weakness for more helpless damage is good. Elusive target, if like you want a solid defensive. I love elusive target. I try to use it a lot. But since we want to blast our DPS as high as we can go, I'm probably going to do embodiment of law. We can always swap that out later. We could do First Blood because we will be using Shadow Dancer and it would proc First Blood. We could also do Harbinger of Chaos. That will give us 2% double shot and the Imbue. That actually might be better than the Lawful one. Let's just take a look. So Embodiment of Law gives us 3 PRR, 3 MRR, and then 2 Imbue die versus the Chaos that gives us double shot and the Imbue die. We're gonna go with that. We're trying to get our damage as high as we can get it, right? We're like, if it's dead, we don't have to worry about it killing us. So we may be more of a glass cannon than we were, but that's the mentality of why. For this here, so we have to pick a Scion. So like Arborea is always a good choice for range, right? There's our 20 range power. We get an imbue die, 4-2 saves, and we get a +2 on our weapons. But another thing, after talking with people, another one that also works for this thrower build is this one here, which gives us sneak attack die, range power, skills, and gives us a bunch of other like defensive abilities. So I think this is the one that we're probably going to try. So we can always change this later, right, if we want. The only other one, let's just make sure, like, looking at some of these, the only other one, I mean, you could maybe, if you wanted to, like, grab, I mean, that gives you PRR, MRR 3 imbue die, but you're not getting any range power. That one doesn't give any range power. Yeah, so this one like gives you 4 double shot, gives you tactical DCs, assassinate DCs, dodge, which is great, and then reflex save, which is also great. So like, I guess the third runner up. So it's between Arborea, Ethereal, and the Astral. So those would be like the 3 that I would juggle. That's probably like the most solid no brain one because like all of that's good. 20 range power, +2 to hit, +1 imbue. We're gonna try this and see how it works. So more sneak attack die, range power, +4 to all the skills. That's great. And then invisibility guard, displacement really aren't going to matter in R10, but you know, I mean, anything less than High Skull Reapers is going to work. And then for our feat, we're going to take here, probably Eerie Aim will be the first one that we take here. So that'll give us +10 to hit, deflection, and then dodge bypass. And then this here, we're probably going to take Legendary Aim. We could take Embodiment of Law to get the extra imbue die. We could take Crush Weakness. We could take Elusive Target or First Blood. I think what we're going to do, though, is take Legendary Aim, because this is going to give us +10 to attack, and then it's going to give us more bypass. The problem is, like, a lot of mobs and legendary content has a lot of fortification, so having bypass becomes really important in order for us to deal consistent damage, you know? So we're going to do it. Now, again, we could always swap that out if for some reason something changed. We're sticking with Dex. And then here, we need to make sure that we take... yeah, we want patience. Patience is something we want because even though it says it reduces our attack speed, it adds a crit multiplier, but people playing ranged have tested this out, and apparently for throwing attack speed, the reduction doesn't really apply. So while that patient reduction may work for melee, it's not really affecting ranged at the moment. I don't know if that's going to get patched out. If it did, we would update the build, right? The one thing that, though, like, we want Watchful Eye, but we didn't. So, like, that, this is the one we should take here because it will synergize with our Epic Destiny, right? Like, we take Watchful Eye, and then once we're in Shirati, it says if you have Watchful Eye, you get 5. I forget exactly what it says. We could probably pull it up and see what it says. Yeah, we get 5 double shot if we have Watchful Eye, so like we would lose 5 double shot. So we either take 5 double shot here, or we take advantage of the +1 crit multiplier with all weapons. Those crit multipliers are pretty huge. We want Watchful Eye. However, we took both the aims. I think you could get away with just doing Legendary and skipping that, or just taking this and skipping Legendary. One or the other. So you definitely want, like, we want these, this and this. But for right now, this is what I'm going to do. Like, that's, so we missed Watchful. That's okay. But that's probably like the ideal. We drop one of those aims, and that's going to be dependent on your gear, right? Like, so we're going Ninja Spy, and we're going Horizon Walker, and we're just blasting decks. Yeah, and if I need to swap out those later on, I can, you know. No big deal. I can go to Fred. I can use a Dragon Shard, and I can just swap out. All right, and so here we're going to hit, right, to hit and damage, and then sneak attack. Those are like super important. So we're stacking those. This is our imbue, Sting of the Ninja. There's more decks here. Probably the most important one here is this dodge acrobatic, because this will give us +3 dodge. We definitely want to take No Mercy. No Mercy is really good. And then we're going to take Touch of Death for the passive, +3 to hit damage. We're going to take Deadly Striker, because that will help us do even more damage. We're going to take Archer Focus here. Shadow Double, my understanding is, does not work. So like at some point in the future, maybe we would take that, but my understanding is it's not working correctly, so we're going to skip it. This one here, you could probably skip Crippling Strike, Assassinate, DC. Like, this one's not necessary, I think, but we still need some... Yeah, so, like, you could probably take... It's only 1 point, right? Like, you could probably put the point somewhere else, but that looks good. Like, after talking with people, the boost to the power is probably, like, better. For Horizon Walker, we don't benefit from any of the bow stuff, right? Like, so, like, I can't really use opening shot, so I'm not going to worry about it, but we can use dodge. We can use to hit. We don't need to worry about +1 to attack and damage with longbows or short bows. We do want the protection from evil buff, because that's just super cool. We want this Archer Focus remaining stationary. That's super huge, and this is the reason why we're here. This is our trance, so we definitely snag that. We're gonna grab as much dex as we can, and this one here, against extraplanar creatures marked targets, you deal an extra 2 with longbows and shortbows, so that's useless for us. We're not using many shot or scatter shot. We're not using that. Saving throws versus traps we could benefit from. Favorite enemy outsider we want, because evil outsider, those are reapers. So basically that's damage on reapers. We want that. We want our decks. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. that doesn't really matter. I mean, you could make a use case for that. Like, okay, you have a buddy that you want to give evasion to, but I mean, that's very specific. I don't think it's worth wasting points on. That's an AoE bow attack. I don't think you should waste points on that either. We don't need to make arrows. We could take that for the extra reflex saves, but it's not really a good use of 3 points. We can't use that. The only other thing would be the saves on traps, and I'm not convinced that spending 3 points just to get an extra +6 on saves versus traps is going to be like a good effective use of. So it doesn't look like we're going to have enough to get up to do Dimension Door here, because I would just have to buy too much junk in this tree that's not useful for me. So it looks like 23 points. That's about it. The good news, though, is that gives us extra points. We have 13 points that we can spend over here, right? We want to buy that, but that means that we also have points that we can use to go into another tree that's going to help increase our damage, which is Henshin. The reason why is because for every, while I'm centered, if you read this, right? Every time I take one of these cores, I'm going to get melee power. It doesn't matter to me. Fire resist. Okay, that's not bad. PRR. That's good. And then imbue die. So we're going to get an imbue for every one of these we can take. So 1 imbue, 2 imbue, 3 imbue, 4 imbue. If we can get more. I don't have that many points, right? I only have 12 points. But let's see if there's anything else that's useful for me here. So this is not going to be that useful. That's a key melee attack. This key activate intimidate is nothing that I want to even think about using. That's heal, intimidate, and attack with quarterstaffs. That's not super useful. And then this here allows us to emulate a creature in nature. If I look at this, monkey gives us haggle and saves versus traps. What's that last line there? Energy resist. Okay, so that's not bad. This one here, Diplosis, and then our generate an additional key on critical hits. Now, my understanding is that's only critical hits of melee. I don't know if that works for critical hits on range. It would be really nice if it did, but the way everything else is keyed, because this is like a melee tree, it's probably only melee, so we're not going to waste any points in that. Listen, we don't really care about. Flanking bonuses are always good, but are they worth buying? There might be something better than the flanking bonus. Tortoise is concentration. That's always a go-to. Hit points, that's good. So, like, I'm leaning on Tortoise because we want our con as high as we can get it. Badger. This one looks like if you take a bunch of damage, your key gen's going to go up. I mean, keygen for us helps with 10,000 stars, really. Beyond that, we're also using it for, like, our Misty Step. So, like, there probably is a use case for Tenacious Badger if you were, like, taking a bunch of damage. But when you're in mid to high Skull Reaper, most of the time you take a bunch of damage, you're dead. So, probably, I'm going to say we'll go with Turtle here. And then because these are useless, I'm just going to basically do heal and intimidate. We really only need to get to that. That's another imbue die. We don't care about the key ability. Nothing. We don't care about any of that stuff because it's all melee stuff. But we do. What we care about is like that gives us one more imbue die. And then the other thing too is really cool. Over here, if we do 3 points into contemplation, that will increase our passive keygen. So now we'll have 1 keygen from water stance, and we'll also have 1 keygen from contemplation. So that'll hopefully keep us with an abundance of key. I still have 7 points, right? So if I can put another point somewhere, let's see what this is. Taking this grants you imbue toggles, fire, cold, electric, and acid. They enhance your attacks with key, dealing element and additional force damage on crit. So I haven't ever tried that elemental soul. I'm wondering if it works. it costs 2 points. All right, so let's do this. I'm going to finish that, right? So now we have our power boost. I still have 2 points. If I take that, maybe if I reduce that by 1, so I'm only losing 10 on that action boost, but then I can get another key, pardon me, not key, another, each one of these is an imbued eye, so that's +1, +2, +3. And then this may be a waste, this elemental soul. I just want to try it and see like what it looks like. If not, I'll respec out of that. And we'll probably grab this like Embrace the Void would probably be better, because then we would get this costs 2 points, so we would get 1. Yeah, we would do 1 point here and we put our the other point over here, basically. But for now, this is what we're gonna, this pretty much, this looks good. So that's the new dexterity build where we are, right? And then for our destinies, we're going double rainbow. And we're going to be doing Fate Singer, so we're going to have Sonic. So we want to do instead, I usually did Stay Good, but I'm going to be doing Stay Loud for the Sonic damage. This one here, we want to grab Double Shot. We do want Wall Watch for the double shot. We want Hunt's End. We want this favorite enemy, Faye. Healing Spring is probably going to be our heal. We're not taking that strike. We don't need that. We can use Chargers of Wild Empathy, though, so we'll see how much extra we have here. Okay, that looks good, actually. And now we're at the top. We do that, we do that, we do that, and we do this. Alright, 35 points. That looks great. The next tree that we're going to do is Shadow Dancer, and then the last tree we're going to do is Fate Singer. And this is going to depend on like our point breakdown. So like, let's just start grabbing some of the things that we want. So like, we want that harmonic resonance. That's super important. We're going to be using the Epic Strike. So that's the ranged Epic Strike, pluck the string. And we want the ranged Arrow of Discord. The less threat is good. I think also the skills are good. I'm not casting friendly spells, so I don't really need to worry about grandeur. So I'm just going to do that for now. The sonic damage of your Epic Strike is doubled. We definitely want to get 3 points there. Fortification Bypass, if we have points, we grab that. So, and this one's good too, like if you were doing a lot of raiding, you'd want to make sure that you grab that so your threat was as low as it could possibly be. But for now, I just want to make sure that I have enough points to grab what I want over here. So what we're going to do is we're definitely going to take less threat. This gives us Night Shield, so that's going to make us immune to Magic Missile. Having Assassinate DCs are good. If we go 3 points in this, oh, if you have Nimble Fingers, you gain Sneak Attack. We don't have Nimble Fingers, so we're not going to get Sneak Attack. Probably, I would think getting Reflex saves and maybe having access to Hide in Plain Sight would be cool. Like I said, the way that my character, so you probably do this sneak attack, but because this is a first life tune and I don't have really good UMD, I'll probably, and I want to be able to like no fail a heal scroll, I'll probably do 3 points there. We also want live. Live is really good. One of the reasons we're here is this here, Shadow Striker. So that will give us double shot. It also makes us immune to energy drain, which is super useful. I have 15, so I think I'll finish that stealthy, and then I'm going to do this fortification bypass. We need the core tier 4. I've got 2 points left. Was there anything over here that I really... So there's more bypass, and then reduction there, and then I could put 1 point here to grab skills. So I know I want Bring the Darkness, because that's going to do a vulnerability on sneak attacks that reduces their PRR, MRR. That's good. That'll synergize with like the offhand that I have. Now, if you had a lot of points, you definitely would want to take Pierce the Gloom. I think maybe it could be like there could be an argument that that would even be better, but I just don't have the points. I only have 73 points. If this were my main has like what, 89 points or whatever it is. It's a lot. Troggy Trog, good to see you. So basically this is the breakdown of the new build. My tune being first life, I don't have the ability to buy everything that I want, but this is as good as it's gonna get. Like I said, it's pretty much... Yeah, we definitely want that cut the soul, so... I think that's fine. And with only 2 points... that would only be another +2 to hit and +2 sneak attacks versus this that does a debuff. I mean, I don't have First Blood. This only triggers on a natural 20 to do the debuff. So, like, let's... This is always +2, and then a +2 for sneak attacks, and then a +2 for flanking. So this is probably better, right? All things being equal. As much as I love Bring the Darkness, I think it's probably better if we just take that. If I had more points, I'd cap that off and try to grab that too. If I had more points, I would definitely, or if I did a lot of raiding, I would definitely do that pianissimo to grab the reduction, the 35% reduction in threat. And then another one that I would grab would be this fortification bypass here. It would be something that would be really cool. If I had a ton of points, I would probably try to get Great Ballads of War to grab the +1 attack and damage. I think that would be super useful too. Nothing else in this is really that useful for us. You could add, like, that wouldn't be bad, Tune the Weave, because it would give you 6 MRR and some spell points, but like, it really doesn't matter. And then this tier 4, unfortunately, is like one of the worst tier 4s in all of these destinies, because it only boosts Shout, Greater Shout, the Greatest Shout, and then Echoes of Discord. So if you're not using any of those, it doesn't qualify for the healing boost that it does. So it, or, you know, whatever the... Yeah, heal them for 10%. And 10% really isn't that much. I can't believe, like, if you consider how good Cut the Soul is, if you consider how good Fake Countenance is, like, the fact that that one is just so underwhelming, I don't really mind missing out on it. Okay, and then if you had a bazillion, obviously what you want to do is go, like, all Dread Adversary and then Grim Barricade. But my character is a first life, pretty much. I only have 2 past lives. I have 1 heroic and 1 epic past life, right? So I need to increase my defensive, my hit points. I have, like, no hit points. I have 700 hit points. So without embarrassing myself, so I'm going to go Grim Barricade. I have 26 points. However, we need to make sure that we grab something from Dread Adversary, and that is this Reaper Strike this will give us a 30% double shot for 30 seconds. So we just max that out. We're good to go there, right? And now we throw a bunch of stuff. If I have extra points, I'll come back over here and grab some range power and some dexterity, but we want to grab all the dodge we can get, all the constitution we can get. We're just going to keep going. All right, so now I'm maxed out on all the dodge and con that I can get. So now I'm going to start adding reflex saves, right? And PRR until I can take this core tier 4, which is right there. So now we're good here, right? We're good. This is the big one that gives us 100 hit points. I could continue to go further. I have 1 point left. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab a point of dexterity. Just because why not? I'm a dex base now, so now we spent all of our points. We've got our new build. Hopefully we're in a better position than we were before we reincarnated. The only two of these that we really want on the bar are water, because that's what we're going to live in. And then for boss fights, we could jump into Sun Stance for the extra damage. Okay, there's our 10,000 stars. The archer's focus. Okay, slow fall. We're not using quivering palms, so we don't need to worry about it. Empty body, I'm just gonna put on the bar. I'm not sure if I'll ever actually use it. There's our abundant step. That's our quick movement, so. Yep, we need precision. Okay. Alright, now I want to pin Colors of the Queen. Is there anything else that I need to pin? No. Alright, there's our diversion. Diversion actually works really well. Oh, so these were the... Okay, so... damage scales with melee or ranged power. So we're going to test this out. This is something that I kind of veered off a little bit to test these elements. As opposed to this... Sting of the Ninja. So these are all of our imbues right here. So we'll pin them all, and then we're gonna try them out just to see, because I might be able to drop this. The first one we'll try is acid. We'll just see if it's, you know, got any bit of a bigger oomph. I want the marked target. So we're not using any of this other stuff. We do want the Reaper Strike. Okay, that's our... Yeah, we want that. We're not using that. We're not using that. Okay, our Epic Strike. So there's Prism. Okay, there's our Epic Moment. There's Hunt's End. Healing Spring. Okay, that's the epic strike right there, and then this is Arrow of Discord right there. That's great. Okay, all my gear. So I'm still gonna be in the same gear that I was. We're gonna have to farm for some of the pieces to get this gear better. Okay, where's my throwing star? It's right there. Now, this character does not have... Let's see what my... I have a 145% chance to activate that. And 125% chance to activate that. You know what that says to me? Probably I can leave that sleight of hand and go back over into Dance in the Dark. Yeah, so that's probably going to be something that we eventually do, because it looks like I have enough. That was really all we cared about, right? Like... Okay, yeah, you guys seeing how I usually build out my bars, pretty much do it the same on everybody. Where's that crazy new dragon? That's it right there, the Black Rose. Right, since this is the new shiny toy, we might as well run around in it. Okay, so on this gear, we can just verify that I do in fact have the, that gem of quick movements. We can see it right here. Actually, the wrong one. Okay, so this Topaz of quick movements gives us the feat Quick Draw. That was the feat that I told you that it was, we were gonna take it, and it was either between that or deflect arrows. So if we look, we just want to make sure that we have Quick Draw, because that's gonna help our yeah, we have it right here. That's gonna help the speed of our thrown weapons, right? So God, I only have 1,400 hit points. I really need to. So we lost our renewal, so I'm going to be actually like healing myself with scrolls, basically. Alright, let's just make sure that my UI and my gameplay look good. Alright, that looks good. Yeah, that all looks fine. Alright, so where did we land? I have work to do, right? Like, I have work to do to get my dex higher. My dex is super low at 70. So, like, I have a lot of work to do on min-maxing this gear and getting it better. Getting my dex up. I wonder why it's so low. I must be missing out on, like, my festive decks, my insightful decks. Like, I have to just be missing a bunch of pieces, which... So we're gonna have to, like, do some work on that. So one of the reasons why I want to come out here is to farm for some dinosaur bones in order to make, like, a couple of things for my main hand and my offhand. We have a really good keygen. You can see that we're at +2. So, like, that's really good. And there we have our trance. I guess the imbue looks pretty decent. Let's see how that epic strike is. I mean, that was really good right there. Yeah, I am happy with the keygen. See how many imbue die we wound up with, extra imbue. So we only have 3 bonus imbue, but it's better than what we had. And the hit size, I mean, it generally appears to be better. You guys will let me know what you think, but... $15,000, $5,000. So I'm just not sure if the Ninja Spy imbues better, so we'll try that. I mean, that looked pretty good. Hey, we leveled up. That's great. Might as well try. Yeah, there. We'll do that. I'm not sold on this elemental imbue, right? But it's not bad. The damage on it is not terrible. It's a couple hundred. All right, the chest is not there. See how fast I can kill this dude. Oh, we basically two-shotted him. I mean, that's really good. Those dudes sometimes are a pain to kill. Oh, that's impressive. I didn't even hit him with my epic strike. I didn't even put the archer focus on him. Let's see if the bear is here. Okay, the bear is here. Put the focus on him. That was the strike. We hit him for 16,000 sonic damage. 10,000. Like, yeah, you guys can see what I was talking about. Like, our DPS is orders of magnitude better than where it was. Not like my wisdom build was bad for content like this, but this is just a lot more damage. So what we should do is probably go to Sharn Welcome and see how it plays. It is really nice though having the +2 keygen. Yeah, I'm not sold on this though. Let's try electricity. I think it's nice to have, like, the option in case whatever you're attacking is immune to poison, but I honestly don't think with the sonic damage and the base damage that it's really going to mean that much, so I think it's something to worry about that's probably not necessary to worry about. In other words, like, yeah, alright, it's nice to be able to select what element you're doing, but I don't think it matters. Your damage is going to be high enough without worrying about that. Like, I mean, we just obliterated that dude. So I couldn't even tell that I was doing, you know, electric damage to it because it was dead. So like, yeah, there's 100 electric damage we just did, but I don't think it matters. Like, in other words, I think you could probably just do Sting of the Ninja, and then over here, so rather than taking that, just put your points here to grab the +2 your dodge cap, and then the +2 on those meditation rest would probably be like a little bit better use of the points. But you know, we're just experimenting here with different varieties of this particular build. But I mean, it looks solid. Like, everything looks really good. The DPS looks good. We'll go kill the demon and see how fast we can kill it. See how we do compared to what we did before. There's no rares. We're looking for rares because we want the dinosaur bones. The good news is, though, now that I'm a regular monk, my spell resist is up near 100 again. That's super cool. Things like hold or sleep, or I'm immune to sleep as an elf, but you know, that's the sort of stuff that spell resistance is good for. It looks like it's up top. Just went right through his tail. All right, we've got it. Here we go. All right, so there's my trance. There's 10,000 stars. There's that. Okay, there, I've got them marked. Forgot to mark them. I think that looks pretty good. A kukri and 2 black pearls. Yeah, so I've got to get my dexterity up near 100. So I've got a lot of work to do as far as like that goes. And then it'll get a lot better the higher I can get my dex, right? And then I also want to try to get more hit points. So probably like stack con or get some gear that has something on it that's going to make me have more hit points. I probably should get the I can, on the offhand, I can put a proc for whenever I'm in combat. I have a chance of making 1,000 temporary hit points. That's probably exactly what I'll do, just because my hit points are so low. Like, generally, my goal is to get like 2,000 hit points, even though in R4, 2,000 hit points isn't enough to keep you from getting like one-shotted. It's still nice because you'll avoid dying to like stupid things, because a lot of stupid things will hit you for like 1,200, 1,600 damage. So we'll see if this dragon is here. This dragon would be an interesting, like, no, the dragon is not here. The damage looks good, but it's gonna be low right now because my dex is so low. So we have to try to fix the gear next. That's like the number one. We fixed the build, we fixed the filigrees. Now we need to fix the, you know, so probably what we're going to do is make a dinosaur artifact, which I will stack with dex. So this will go away. So I need to like find a good, I'll probably use an Isle of Dread artifact, because I'm going to try to get an Isle of Dread set bonus going to replace this salt marsh, because this is a very generic sort of low, like, yeah, it gives us 15 range power and +3 to all of our ability scores, but like that's pretty much, that's very blah. The Wall Watch set is nice with the bypass and the range power. However, these are both artifact bonuses, so like the 15 range power from this artifact doesn't stack with the 15 range power from this artifact. So like right now these are sort of redundant with each other. I need to focus on getting the Isle of Dread 3-piece and the Isle of Dread 5-piece, or Isle of Dread 3-piece and then like the Vecna 5-piece or something like that. That's the things that will not be overwriting each other. So it's going to take me a little while, but this is the beginning of it right here. So there's going to be a bunch of changes to the gear. Probably in the short term, I'll stay in the Wall Watch set. And then we might swap out pieces of the Salt Marsh depending on, like, yeah, see, there's 13 decks. This here's giving me 14 decks, but I don't think I have a source of insightful dexterity. Arrowbound Topaz is good. That legendary dodge, that's good. That's my belt. That's going to stay the same, although that's only the level 31. Dodge, reflex, speed, ghostly. And that's a good ring. I have it slotted with spellcaster stuff. Like, I need to get like a ranged build gear set specific, because right now I'm like using stuff that I had made for my casters. I usually play casters, so the deep snows are good. That spell resist ring is good. The Wrathborn Emerald is good. These are alright. Yeah, Insightful Wisdom. That armor is decent. I can do way better on these goggles, though. These goggles are not... Aside from the fact that they're part of the set bonus and they're giving us blindness immunity, really nothing else. Magical Sheltering is nice, but... I do like the String of Ears a lot. It's probably going to be replaced, though. But that, I mean, it is... I'm probably going to wear that as long as I can. So, if I can find... We'll see. I'm just going to keep going around and looking for, like, the dinosaur artifacts. If I could find a ring, maybe I would make a dinosaur ring. I don't want to do belt. I don't want to do boots. I have the necklace. I could probably maybe do bracers. It would be really cool if a trinket dropped, but I know it doesn't. I think I already have a bunch of that stuff, right? Look, okay, so I have a belt. I'm not going to use the belt. I have boots. I'm not going to use the boots. But I have the necklace. So right now it's probably going to be the necklace. I'm not going to use these. I'm just going to feed those. Looks like I do... Okay, so that's good. Deception, Assassinate. So that's not bad. So if I can get that 5-piece going... Profane ability scores, profane attack and damage, profane range power. Like, that's one of the set bonuses that I want to get. That would be really good. So, like, I have that. Not sure that those would help me. Would they help? The Moonrise Bracers? Okay, Healing Hand or Hand of Harm. They got rid of those as far as I know, so I don't even think Sun and Stars will work anymore. +3 key gen each successful attack. I don't know if that's +3 key for a non-melee attack. We would have to try that out. Reinforced Fist won't matter for Throwing Star. 20 concentration is good, and then the mythic is good. So, yeah, I'm thinking that those might not be... Yeah, it just may not. Those may be, like, outdated. They need to be redone. What about the Pinnacle Ring? Reinforced doesn't matter. Deadly's good. Stunning is okay. We don't really use it, though. The bonus to the Monk's Dance, that's good. We'll have to see whether or not. And then I have the Topaz of Quick Movement in there. So let's see what we get from doing this. You guys may know already. I don't know. Alright, so I should have like an enhanced version of my water stance now, right? Okay, beyond the soul tide. You have elevated yourself beyond the element of water while your centers, your attacks have a chance to knock the target down. That's really cool, right? Like, I wonder if that'll work on my thrown attacks. We're gonna try that. I can forego having my spell resist, right? For a little while. It may be that we want to use that Soul of the Elements. I don't know, though. I mean, I'm just... Being able to knock something down is nice, but... I've got to worry about other stuff, like my, my hit points. This is just like a huge... But I'm not going to do that now. That's going to take a lot of work. It's just I'm talking about it with you guys now. So, you know, if anybody else is playing on a monk similar to this, like, now I've got to focus on getting the gear. I've got to focus on getting my gear min-maxed and like getting my dexterity as close to 100 or over 100 as I can get it, right? Like, that's terrible. I'm not even at, I need to be at like, at least like 80, right? I'm way off. Like, my gear is just not good, so. I don't want to do Red Rain, I want to do the first one. So we're going to test out and see how we do. We'll do it exactly the same way that we did it before. See if we do any better. Hopefully we don't get like a bad pull on Reapers or some bullshit, right? We'll stick with Sting of the Ninja. Alright, there's my trance. There's 10,000 stars. Alright, he's dead. That was nice. And then we killed him really quick. Alright, I just hit myself with vigor. Let's see what we can do. This is the epic strike. That was pretty good. We'll do another one. I mean, that was decent. Yeah, we didn't use our epic moment. That was just normal. Alright, so here's our 10,000 stars. Got that light bearer marked. Really want to kill that sword. I wonder if the knockdown that we just got was because of that ring. I'm lagging. I'm not sure why. Alright, there we go. Bro, this damage that they're doing to me. Alright, I'm gonna wait and then I'm going to... There we go. Yeah, so we're trying out whether or not this ring is worth it. That Soul of the Elements is supposed to do a knockdown in water stance. It seems to work. Like, I saw a couple of them get knocked down. Is that a Fear Reaper? Probably. Oh, it's a Carnage Reaper. I think it looks pretty good, right? So let's do, this is Hunt's End, right? I mean, that was really good. He has 14,000 hit points. We almost one-shotted him with Hunt's End. And there's that poison dot. So that was what I was saying, like experimenting with Henshin. Like taking these imbues. I don't think it's a bad idea, right? Like, that's what I'm talking about right there. Elemental Soul gives you the ability to, like, use it. That as opposed to being stuck on Sting of the Ninja. But I don't think anything's wrong with Sting of the Ninja. And I also don't think it's enough damage to matter. Because between the sonic damage and the base weapon damage that you're doing... I don't think it, you know, just don't think it matters. Like, we're obliterating stuff that we actually hit. Get that dude who's... So the Fear Reaper, is he chasing me? Yes, he is. Okay. Okay, Fear Reaper's dead. Oh, I'm gonna die, aren't I? I've got 2 stacks. Okay. I'm gonna run out of scrolls. But it's nice to know, too, like, my UMD is 145, so... I'm going to drop Sleight of Hand because I don't need it, and I'm going to pick up Dance in the Dark for the sneak attack. That'll give us a bunch more DPS, basically. That was a pretty decent hit. Yeah, the stuff is definitely dying a lot faster. I do miss Renewal, but I don't think that the scroll healing with this vigor is terrible. It's just not as good, obviously, right? So a couple of things to focus on for me is getting more hit points, getting my dex up. Alright, so we're gonna do everything here, right? And then we'll throw down our dummy. I mean, our damage looks really, really good, right? The dinosaur should go right for the dummy, unless the dummy's already dead. Alright, I want to get a heal on myself. Okay, there you go. It's hard for me to show you guys the damage, but you can see it. It looks really good. Right? And then if I actually click the mouse instead of using my Xbox controller, I can actually throw a lot faster. So that's something you want to do. It's something that I don't do because I play on an Xbox controller, but for a boss, it just makes it a lot better. And what I'm talking about specifically is that, so on the Xbox controller, right, like in order for me to attack, right, I hold down the trigger, but it doesn't trigger it like a mouse click. It's basically just like holding the mouse click down. So that's me holding it down. You see how I'm throwing? Right, and if you were to like tap that out, it's not, but what I can do is I can actually like physically like press the throw button, and I'm gonna, that's even faster. You see what I mean? So I don't always do that. For a boss, you want to make sure that you do that, but if you guys are playing on keyboard or mouse, you can do that all the time. It's just because I play on an Xbox controller, I don't ever, you know, like, and it doesn't matter. Like if I were to, you know, like, it doesn't, for some reason, it's not the same as if I like, see how fast that is? That's the mouse. So I make, maybe I could make like a, you know how the mouse is like a macro? Maybe you could make a macro that would like spam click that and make it throw as fast as possible. I mean, I could probably try to do something like that for this, but I mean, it's just, that's me holding it down. Look at how much slower that is. It's like something that's important to consider doing a thrower, right? Like, normally though, for normal bosses, I'd probably do the mouse only. I wouldn't do it for trash. Not unless it was like a lot of Reapers or something. And that's just me specifically. I'm just so used to playing on the Xbox controller. But I know I'm in a minority. I know most of you guys are doing keyboard and mouse, so you could get that really fast throw by like spam clicking that. And then I think some of you guys who multi-box, there's software out there that allows you to make like macros and stuff. You could probably macro something to do it super fast. So this is it. Hopefully I stopped getting hate mail now because I was playing a range that wasn't dex-based. I'm dex-based now. It's just my gear sucks, so it looks bad still. I do like the idea of having Soul of the Elements and knock stuff down, but I'm not sure it's like really worth me using a whole ring slot just to get it. You know, like, it's cool, and I'm gonna keep it on deck as something to think about, but I'm really not, like, sold on the idea that it's, you know, I'll have to talk to some people and see what they think, people who play. Hey, retired cleric, yeah. We'll just have to see what people think about that ring. Like, there's a lot of this weird monk-specific gear, you know? So that's what it looks, so you guys can see here, like, this is not the gear that I want to wear. However, this is this monoweave armor is part of the 3-piece for the Waking Ancestors, or the Deacon of Auricular Sacrarum, however you pronounce that. Those are both caster sets, but the point is, they're 3-piece artifact sets, so I want to find the Isle of Dread 3-piece artifact set for ranged, and then I also want to do the 5-piece artifact set. Pardon me, not artifact, profane. This is a piece here. You can see right there, right? It's 5 pieces that give you a profane bonus, and those would go together in a way that they would stack on top of each other, which is what I'm not doing now. One of the reasons my stats look so bad is because of the gear that I have is just not optimized. It's I'm wearing a wall watch set from Sharn, which is a good set. It's a 3-piece artifact set, but I have a 5-piece Salt Marsh artifact set. So those artifacts, they don't, you can only benefit from one bonus at a time, right? So for each type, right? So if you have an artifact bonus coming on 2 that's identical, they don't stack. They just basically, one of them is wasted. So the 15% range power artifact bonus that I would get from this Salt Marsh set is redundant with the 15 artifact bonus from this set. So they basically, I'm only getting the benefit of one set. So I need to get the Isle of Dread artifact bonus, and then I could stay with the Wall Watch set, right? But I want to get the Profane 5-piece from Isle of Dread. That's like the most important one for me to focus on, because that would directly replace this 5-piece set and allow me to stack the bonuses. I also need to focus on, I have 14 decks main, but I need to get like the +6 insightful decks from somewhere. I need to get the quality decks, and then I also need to get like my festive decks, which I think I have. Not quite sure. We'll have to see if I have, I mean, this is Sarlona, so I probably have a bazillion, because this account's so old. So I have an Insightful 5. I have a 14. But I'm not seeing any festive. So apparently I haven't bought any, or if I have, I'm already using them on some other gear, so I'm gonna have to look around. I bet somebody's selling. Yeah, so this would be like the last, right? I could get one right there for 55 shards. I have plenty of shards, but do I want to waste shards? If I can find one, I might have one. I've done all the events that you can earn those, so I probably do have one somewhere. It's just probably slotted in a piece of gear. I just have to basically find it and like move it around. So it's going to be a lot of loot Tetris, like doing the Tetris on the gear and try to find pieces of gear, because I usually play casters. Just about everything I have is like keyed around casting. So I'm going to have to sort of mess around with finding, see if I have any. Isle of Dread is what, level 31? So I do have some cool stuff. So look at that. I have double shot. So right away, these goggles are going to be way better than what I'm wearing, right? Way better. So, like, probably what I should do is just start breaking that set bonus on this character and just start upgrading the individual pieces. So now I have deadly quality, deadly double shot, insightful double shot. That ring is level 32, but that belt is level 30. I know I have a crafted level 30. Oh, you know what else we need to do? While we're here. So I do have the raptor, but I don't need that stuff because I think I'm going to get all those stats. I think it'd probably be better for me to use the red feather. Right, so we'll carry the red feather. That's profane. That's good. The Admiral's gloves, that's part of the set, but it is all caster junk on it. Alright, that's part of the set too. That's a tank set, that's not DPS. So it looks like that's it. So like I have work to do getting these pieces of gear from Isle of Dread. I don't have a lot of it. Quality wisdom, spell resist, magical sheltering, death block. No, don't want to swap out those gloves yet. Lots of good stuff in here. Don't need that. Don't need any of these. Titan's Blood, I like the idea of it would give me another, looks like what, like 100, 150-ish hit points, somewhere around there. That's only one imbue die. If that were three or two, I'd probably consider taking it, but I could get Embodiment of Law for two imbue die. You see what I mean? Like, there's two imbue die, and that one's literally called imbue die, and it's only one. So, like, why is this two, and that's only one? I think that should be three, to be honest, because that's all it is imbue die, whereas this one is imbue die, and you get some defensive stuff. My PRR and MRR are so bad, like they are so god awful that I should probably consider doing that to increase it a little, but it's only +3 and it's really not going to help. It's having 62 versus 65. I mean, I need to get it to like 200, so it's terrible right now. So it's not even worth thinking about adding 3 to it. Crush Weakness would be good. Elusive Target would probably be the best thing to take with the hit points as low as they are. The reason why they're so low now is because I got rid of that, the set bonus that I had that was boosting my PRR. Gave me 30 PRR, gave me 3 to all my ability scores and stuff. So, like, that's one of the reasons why I lost a lot of hit points just now. First Blood would be good to take, but I didn't have the points to go into that, right? So we're not actually using Bring Darkness. If I were on a different character with a lot of points, I probably would consider doing that. I think it's going to be between Elusive Target for right now, Crush Weakness, or Embodiment of Law, and then the other one is Titan's Blood. Considering that my gear is so bad and I have no hit points, and if I join a pug, people are going to see me with no hit points and wonder why I'm level 34 and I only have that many hit points. So I'll probably do this for now, but once I get my gear better, I'll probably swap this out for, like, most likely what I'll do is Embodiment of Law, because that'll be the biggest hit. I'll get a bunch of imbue die. I'll get a bunch of, I mean, I probably should take that now instead of this one. But I just feel really embarrassed only having that, like, tiny amount of hit points. So at least I can get closer. Like, if I put that gear piece, like, we're definitely gonna wear those goggles, but until I sort of min-max it a little bit and make it better, I should probably stay with the set that I had, just so I can keep the bonus. So, like, now I'm a little bit Now at least my PRR is at almost 100. But yeah, that'll be what we change. We might change a few of our feats. What do we want to do? So we're level 34 now. That's great. And should probably go to the... Do I have teleport scrolls? I do. I need to buy scrolls. They only have 20 teleport scrolls, so I'm gonna buy a bunch. And then I need, resurrection. Okay. And what else do we need? We need... I have removed disease. I have poison, curse. I need heal. So I need, what, 97? To make a stack of 100. I'm gonna buy another 100. Since we're scroll healing now. And probably, I think, restoration, right? Greater restore. I don't need a ton of them, though. Just buy like 30 of them. That way, if we do the quest with the Lich, we can, like, restore his memory, or if we, for some reason... We're immune to energy drain, so I technically don't need to carry them, but it's always helpful to have that kind of stuff. Probably would benefit from having a few more of those. Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine. So let's see how we do. We respec. Resurrection scrolls. I have a 125% chance to cast it, right? Just standing here with no other buffs on me. So that means I should be able to reset this tree. Now let's take a look. So I'm at 95% on a resurrection scroll, 95% on a greater restore, and my heal scrolls are no fail at 115. I have a ton of concentration too, so like it's really unlikely that I'd get interrupted during that scroll cast. So Yeah, and if I really wanted to, I could take one off there and put it there, and that would get me to 100% on my res, but like it doesn't really matter. It's only in DDO 5% is like 100%, but all things being considered, I shouldn't really fail that. Let's see how we do if I go to cast a greater restore on myself. Do you think I'll fail? I have a 5% chance to fail. Like, I literally thought I was gonna fail. It just happens. Like, how many of you guys have done like 5 teleport scroll cast fails in a row? I have. So that's playing fine. That's playing fine. All right, that's good. And so the reason that we did that is now we have more sneak attack dice. So that's good for our overall DPS. The other thing that we can do is here we could get rid of this elemental imbue. So the good thing about this imbue is that it does the elemental damage, and then when I do a critical hit, it also does force damage, and all that damage scales with my ranged spell power. But that's a redundant, like I have another imbue toggle over here that does poison, and it's fine. Like, it's hitting fine. It's not, you know, like terrible. So we could take these 2 points and put one here to make our range power go up when we hit our action boost, and then take the other point, put it over here to increase our dodge cap, and then we get another use of our meditation to generate ki. This also generates a protective shield that can absorb 25 damage and allows to refresh every 3 seconds. I don't know much about that. I've never used that, but I'll tell you, 25 damage is not a lot. Even at tier 3, 100 damage is not a lot. If that were 1,000 damage, that would be impressive, right? But this is I might as well do what I'm talking about doing. We'll just reset this. I just don't think you guys can mess around with those elements. I don't think they're bad, but I'm not sure they're just adding a whole ton to the build. It's like we're only in Henshin for these core imbues, right? Like, we're getting some extra stuff here. But technically it doesn't matter. We only want the cores. So, and having contemplation 3 for the passive keygen is really good. So we would take that, and then we'll use the last point over here. That'll give us our 30%, like our 30 action boost on our, when we kill bosses, we basically punch the action boost, right? So our DPS will go up. We still have our imbue toggle. Like, it's not like we lost our imbue. Our imbue is right there, Sting of the Ninja, which we have it turned on. And so now we have, while you're meditating, you generate a protective shield. And that's this meditation right here. And I'm wondering if that protective shield, it shows up right there. Embrace the void. You're projecting a shield that can absorb 25 damage and is renewed every 3 seconds. I mean, that's really unfortunate. That's not something that you can put on yourself and keep on yourself, right? Like, how cool would that be? Like, I actually think that would be a really cool monk ability if you could meditate and put up like a renewing shield of 25. Even though it's not that much, that would serve a lot of different things, like soaking up just ambient arrow damage or elemental damage if you had a regenerating 25 shield, or that would go up to 100 if you you know, if you did meditate, require you to meditate, but then the shield would stay on you. I think it's useless otherwise, though. I can't see, like, maybe if you're meditating, it's going to... I mean, if something hits you while you're meditating, it's probably going to be for a lot more than 25. The other modifications that we can make to this build... were in the feat selections. There were just a few feats, like the high legendary feats. So I went with Eerie Aim and Legendary Aim. Once I get my gear better, I'll probably drop Titan's Blood for either Elusive Target or Embodiment of Law. I'm still not sure if Scion of the Ethereal is the best. We're experimenting with it now because of the sneak attack die, but it may just be like Arborea is just straight up like going to be like more consistently high damage. I'm not 100% sure yet. I have to talk to some people who do ranged a lot and see what they think. But overall, like, our defenses look really good, right? Even though we only have 1,500 hit points, our effective hit points are almost 8,000. We have a 45% dodge, which is really good because dodge is godly. It's not reduced by high skull reapers at all. Like, that's almost a one out of... We're gonna miss one out... Be missed 1 out of 2 hits, right? Concealment sucks in High Skull Reaper, so that really doesn't matter, but, you know, we have 25, and then Incorporeal, right now we have 15. We'll probably lose that because it's coming from that ring. I do like that ring, but I would need to, like, get another copy of that ring and make a non-caster version, because that one has topazes that are for when I play, like, when I'm leveling up a caster, so... Most of the gear, if you look at what's in the slots, it's just going to be a lot of stuff that's slotted for like casters. Like those goggles are caster goggles, so a lot of the stuff needs to be min-max. But I mean, just objectively, that those look good. Like most of these look really good. Our threat is like being reduced a lot. That's really good. So if I jump into a pug, I can get my unconsciousness range better. I found that Undying Sapphire, need to slot that. My fortification bypass looks really good. I could probably continue to get that higher. My dodge bypass looks good. So like almost 1 out of 4 attacks I can dodge. I can get by their dodge bypass, right? Sneak attack die 25. That's pretty good. I can work on getting the imbue die. So if I swap out that feat, once I get my hit points higher, I'll have 5. I think the goal is to get like 10, around 10-ish. The other thing I have to do is take a look at the Filigrees that I'm going to put in the artifact that I'm going to make and just try to find like a good set. Maybe I'll look for a set that has imbue on it. We'll see. Hope you guys are having a good evening. So talking to ranged people over the last week, I learned that after the changes that they made to, I guess, like the bow weapons they did in a recent pass, the Inquisitive is actually in a really strong spot. So if you were going to do a ranged, it's probably better to do Inquisitive than doing a thrower. But throwers are in a really solid spot. The dex build that we got into is a variation of like other people's dex builds that you would see. This particular one that I got was after talking to a player named Legion who plays with us on hardcore. So like most of the suggestions that I'm doing now came from him. He, you know, he showed me he's on his character's almost triple completionist. So he was able to like get a lot more up his racial tree. He has a lot more imbued eye and a lot of other things going on because of all the power he has from being almost triple completionist. But the damage looks really, really good. Takes advantage of the synergy with the Epic Strike and then the harmonic resonant damage boost. And then having Arrow of Discord along with Hunt's End, like it allows you to do a bunch of big hits. When I tested the Epic Destinies back in the day, I do remember really liking the Fatesinger Epic Strike, so it's not a surprise that that turned out to be like a really good fit. The problem with Shirati is pin is just way too slow. It's just not like this one has a cooldown of 5 seconds and pin has a cooldown of 15 seconds. So it's a much different feel. Like I can just spam this as opposed to, you know, I do pin and then I'm stuck waiting. And overall, like, the DPS feels really good. My to hit. Yeah, I'm wondering if I can get that up. I'm not sure what the number is on what your to hit's supposed to be, but I want to say it's somewhere like 180 or something like that. And I don't think I'm near that yet. So, like, again, I have work to do on the gear. Yeah, it looks like I'm at about 129 to hit. Yeah, we need the bones. Why I'm back out here. We need the dinosaur bones. We need the pearls. And I'm going to have to, like, run these quests probably on my main. And just farm for some of the pieces out here. I'm not in a rush. It's not like I'm trying to get this character built for, you know, like the weekend or something like that. Like, this is sort of like a longer term. There's just a lot of little details that I have to take care of. Like, I have to, see, that was really good, right? I just have to get some of the little details changed. Like the throwing star that I'm using has the horn, the fang. Like, I need to update them. I need to get the offhand that I have set. We could probably do that now. The T-Rex isn't up. I was gonna try to kill the T-Rex. We'll see if the ship is up. But as a thrower, having a +2 key regen is really nice because I can do my 10,000 stars and my quick move, you know, as much as I need to. Okay, the chest isn't up. We can tab target. If the chest was under the water, you'd see it next to that adventurer's pack, but it's not there. In case you were wondering. A lot of people didn't know about that as a rare. You just have to kill those griffins, and then if the chest is there, it unlocks. I can do 5 tumbles in a row. So we're a lot closer to the meta now than we were when I was doing the wisdom-based one. Now, as a dex-based thrower in Horizon Walker, we're taking advantage of a lot of, like, built-in synergies. Horizon Walker is really good for, like, Archer's Focus. All I have to do is stand still and I'll get this right here. I'll get like stacks as long as I stay stationary for 6 seconds. I get my Dex Trance right there. More Dex. There's my Evil Outsider Bane, like for Evil Outsiders, which all Reapers are Evil Outsiders, right? Protection from evil that can't be dispelled. That's super cool. That's great. That means that you can't be... If this is working. Now, there was a... In the past, not that long ago, protection from evil was not working. So if you were, a good example would be like command. If an enemy caster casts command on you to tell you to sit down, you're supposed to be protected from protection from evil, protection from good, because you're supposed to be immune to magical compulsions like command, but it wasn't working. So whether or not that part of it's working now, I don't know, but it does give you resist and a deflection bonus. Our dodge obviously is super high. That's good. I haven't found haste to be super useful because I already have the attack speed bonuses, like, so I'm not really, there's really no reason to ever cast haste. Like in heroics, it's good, but I might be wrong. Maybe somebody can correct me. And then we just didn't have enough points to get to the Dimension Door. However, we don't really care because I have Dimension Door from Shadow Dancer, so it's not like we're really missing out. The only other thing we miss out not getting that core tier 5 is mark targets move 20% slower. So if it were something other than that, I might push to try to get it, but just a 20% debuff on their movement speed. I mean, this stuff is dying really fast anyway. Like, okay, so I mark it, and now it's moving at me slower, but I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, the stuff is dying fast enough. Anyway, it would be nice, don't get me wrong. So, like, if I did this build on my main, like, if I decided to do Monk Lives, I've already done my Monk Lives on my main, but if I wanted to do, like, snag the Dragon Disciple archetype past lives, right? I could make this build on my main, and then I would have enough points to do a lot of weird stuff because my main's triple completionist and has, you know, a ton of points just spread all over the place. So when I was talking to Legion about what he was doing on his build, his, like I said, his character is triple completionist, so, or close to it anyway, so I had to like modify a lot of what he and I talked about to fit a first life character. So this is sort of my interpretation of the Dex build that a lot of monk throwers are sort of playing with now. But I utilize all the cores. Like I'm in Horizon Walker, I'm in Ninja Spy. We're taking advantage of Henshin for the extra imbue die. We're using Shirati, Shadow, and Fate. Like that's pretty much like, I think that might, if it's not the meta, it's close to it. And now all the extra stuff that we need to do is going to be gear dependent. I have to get my decks up. I have to get a whole bunch of like stuff taken care of. I have to get my decks up a lot. It would be nice to get my con and my wisdom up too. Is it up top? It looks like it's up top. But it's, I mean, I feel like the damage is better. Like I'm seeing a lot of normal hits for like 5,000 or 6,000, which, see, there was 4,200. Like we didn't see a lot of that when we were Wisdom. I did see hits that big, but they weren't very frequent. So I have not yet seen a hit for 200 or 250k, but I know that it's possible. So like that's the goal, you know, to get my gear set so I can do big hits like that. So we hit him for 13,000. Like that's really good. So our just general DPS is just a lot higher than it was. So we probably quadrupled our DPS, right? And here, I'm gonna do the thing where I actually... Not sure why my star got removed, but... I'm mouse clicking that so I can do it faster. 42,000. 21,000 Sonic there. 9,000 Sonic. There's a Hunt's End. $14,000 Sonic. I think it looks really good. Considering that we have a lot of work to do, it's still pretty good. We'll go see if the dragon is here. If I ride up to the dragon on this little dragon, he'll leave me alone. He'll think I'm one of him. He won't attack me. Ah, dude, I got dismounted by doing that. I'm so used to doing Misty Step on my Warlock. It doesn't dismount you. But apparently it does dismount you on a monk. It probably should dismount you on a Warlock, but it's a, I think it's a bug. So yeah, you can't do Abundant Step and stay mounted. That's sad. Pretty sure you can do Flight of Kings and stay mounted, though. Not sure if that's functioning as intended or if that was also an oversight. I think he should be able to stay mounted no matter what. Is the dragon here? It doesn't look like he's here. Can I climb a ladder on this while I'm mounted? No. Can I throw a star when I'm mounted? No. It's doing the... I'm seeing the bar. Okay, yeah, it wouldn't let me actually throw it though. Oh, I hit the wrong button. I've got a Mythic 2 light bone mace. Well, I'm gonna go AFK and grab something to drink, like refresh my tea. Hope you guys are all having a good night. I'm gonna open it up. So this is our Dex build now. This is the new monk. I talked to a bunch of people who do ranged, but the number one, like the most of the credit goes to Legion, so we have to hit him up if there's any questions. But I think I got most of the gist of what he was doing. Like I said, he was on a almost triple completionist, so he had a lot of points in his racial. He had a lot more points over here, but and he had a lot more destiny points than I do. So, but we've got all the basics. Like we've got our 2 strikes here. We've got the sonic vulnerability. We're doubling the epic strike damage from Master of Acoustics. We've got our double strike from Shadow Striker, the fortification bypass, the sneak attack die, all this stuff that comes from the core 4 here, and then we have 35 points over here. We've got everything that's useful. We didn't need anything to do with pin because we're not using it. So, but we were able to grab everything else. Obviously, there's a lot more stuff that we could take if we have the points, but we don't have them. But if you did this and you had like, you know, whatever the max points is, 80 or 85, something like that, you'd be able to grab more. Same thing with these. You know, if you had a lot of racial points, you'd be able to like go up here. There's imbue dye here. There's a poison toggle, which I believe this venom blade is better than Sting of the Ninja. It just depends what you have, so. But yeah, I'll be back. Oh, my camera got all borked. Why? It's so dumb. Is it better now? It's working. Hope you guys are having a good evening. That look normal? Everything looking normal? Sound good? Does it look good? Does the picture look any different? Does it look any better? Am I like more hideous than normal? I still need to get some better lighting, but that's a new camera, so hopefully it looks a little better. Next stop is a new mic. We're gonna get like a legit mic. This mic is pretty good though, all things considered. I definitely think it's a good, it's a good USB mic. This is the Blue Yeti, I think. Looks the same, maybe a little better. Yeah. I was in previously doing 1080 60 FPS. That's exactly what this is. However, this camera is just slightly better. Likely what I'll do though, depending on how the year goes, like I was going to get a much better camera, but I just decided, well, we'll see how things go. There's no need. The camera that I was using though was one that I got during the pandemic, and while it did good resolution, it wasn't like when I bought it, it wasn't the ideal. Everybody was trying to do Zoom calls at home, right? Like during the initial first year of everybody being under lockdown. So like the camera took like 3 months to get here, and it just wasn't really what I wanted to order. So now I was able to order one that, you know, actually does kind of things that I want it to do. But like the long-term goal is to get like a really good high quality one. I also need to get better lighting. That's another issue. So I like it when there's depth of field. In other words, like I like if I'm in focus and then the stuff behind me isn't really in focus, that would be ideal. But the space that I'm in is kind of small, so I really don't have the ability to set that up yet, but eventually. The next step is not any of that though. The next step is the mic. Get the sound quality up would be a lot better. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't like I might have gear on other characters. But most of the gear that I save is for casters. Like, there's a part of the family set, but that's melee. There's insightful decks right there. Like, that would be cool to use. Spring. Spring does damage to helpless, missile deflection, dodge cap, sneak attack dice, that's good, double strike, and then ranged power. So like spring would be really good. It's just 7 pieces for an artifact bonus. I think it would probably be a better use of my slots to go after the 3-piece Artifact, and then the 5-piece Profane. I'll probably have to like ask around and see what specific pieces people really like and what they use on their Inquisitives and Horizon Walkers, things like that. As a monk, I have to stay in a robe, but I'm not sure. Like, I'm in the Wall Watch robe, but maybe there's like a better robe out there for me. You know, maybe there's something that's optimized for a monk. Man, my camera keeps like doing this thing where it moves. I don't understand why. Going to have to fix whatever that stupid wire is that keeps getting snagged whenever I move. That good? Uh, and what about those? Seeker Combat Mastery Protection. Yeah, that's not bad. Summer is MRR Artifact for Bypass. That's good. Tactical, Helpless, Double Strike, and then Range. So Summer and Spring are really sort of similar. I mean, that's not bad. It's not going to be a lot of extra holy damage, but it is some extra die. It'd be a waste. I don't do smite. Oh, let's see what that is. So, ranged weapons infused with binding power that critically slows. Okay, so 50%. So it looks like when I swap out, I could use that. That's armor piercing, accuracy, insightful accuracy, crippling. I mean, that's not bad, even though I'm going to be letting the Salt Marsh set bonus go. I do need a trinket. So if it's not that one, it would be the red feather. Right? Looks like it's going to be one of the... Yeah, one of those, because the tooth, the legendary version of that tooth would not work. I do like the idea of getting Relentless Fury, though, because it's 5% damage on ranged. But I don't need the melee alacrity, shatter, or strength, really. I mean, I probably have that legendary lizard folk necklace somewhere, though. Those wouldn't be bad. The Raven Sight wouldn't be bad to get as a legendary version. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, like, I really need to find the other versions of those gloves. When I reincarnated, I lost my genie loot buff. That's really, really lame. Which means I probably should not quest, like, for loot on this character, right? Those would be good. Dark depths, that would be good. Yeah, having the insightful deception would be really good. That means more damage on anything that qualifies as sneak attack. So that's really good. I don't really do assassinate anymore, and we already have our lesser displacement. Right? I don't think it stacks, do they? Does the equipment stack from... like with the feet? Probably not. No, they don't. That'd be way too cool if it did. Alright, so... hey, I got a VIP crafting thing. Like, those things are super rare. I hardly ever see those. So what we were thinking about doing was making a necklace, right? Which is sort of unfortunate because, like, I would love to keep wearing that. Although there are a bunch of things on it that are redundant. Like the dodge is redundant. I think the parry is not. The quality wisdom is good. I don't really care about the exceptional prudent skills though. So I mean it like really doesn't matter. Yeah, let's what we want to do is go and see. See, these artifacts are just like way, way better, right? Like I can build out this artifact. It'll be way better than this one that I'm wearing. I will never use that mace, even though it's got a mythic on it. Other stuff that I will never use, that... and... going to save that. I probably won't use that. I have 2 boots. That does not have a mythic on it. Does this have a mythic on it? No, but I probably would not use dinosaur boots because there's just too many other good boots. I don't think anything else in here I want to... I mean, these Moonrise bracers are probably garbage and they could probably be, but I'm gonna hold off before I do. I need to talk to people who play Monk. Let's find out if they're actual garbage or if they're okay. The falchion, it's not bad, but I probably am not going to build anything with it. So I already have the monoweave armor. And not quite sure where I got the turncoat, but I'm going to keep it because it's probably the only one I have. I don't need that. And I definitely don't need that. I could use that, but I'm so close to 3,000 that that would probably be dumb to do. Although, don't I have to hit 6,000 on this? I think I do. Yeah, I have to hit 6,000. Gloves of the Tinkerer. No. 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 All right, we actually need that short sword. Okay. We don't need that. The sickle, don't need. The dinosaur bone throwing dagger, I don't need. As cool as that is. The salt iron plate. Probably have another copy. I think I just looted that. So we're at 5-4. That was quick. So I don't think I need to use that. That's 1,000. That would be a waste. Let's see if I can get there. The docent has a +2 on it, but I don't plan on playing Warforged anytime soon. So, and then the Firemouth cloak I don't need. There we go. We made it to 6,090. So we've got our 4 slots. And see what the Filigrees were Manticore, Dreadbringer, Next Fall. What else? You guys might know. Oh, hey, Zulk here. I just saw that you raided. That's great. Thank you for the raid. Hope everybody's doing well. Spines of the Manticore. All right, so let's take a look. Spines of the Manticore is a 4-piece, and I already have it. So I already have Spines of the Manticore on this gear right here. So there it is. So I've got 4 pieces. There's the 4-piece. So that's as good as it's going to get with that. Dreadbringer, I have 5 pieces. So there's 4 pieces here, and then there's another piece over here. This particular artifact has 3 slots that I used for Next Fall, but Next Fall as a 2-piece gives me +2 to attack and damage, but as a 3-piece it only adds 5 melee power, and that's sort of like useless. And then even if I went to 4 pieces, that's also useless for me. So really, Next Fall is only good for me as a 2-piece, but on the dinosaur I'll have an extra slot. So like I need to find let me see if there's like just a flat out dex. So Abiding Path, that's a monk. Let's see what that does. 10 MRR and stunning melee range dodge. No, that's completely useless for what I'm trying to do. Prowess is all melee. Okay. I mean, that gives action boosts for 4-piece, and we are using in action boosts, but it's not worth it. Like, it's not enough. Twilight Cloak, let's see what that is. We would benefit from the reflex saves. 5 MRR is like and 1 dodge cap. Like, those are nice. The stacking displacement is nice, but again, like probably there's like we want to glass cannon min-max our DPS, right? So I want something to give me imbued eye. Like, this is not bad. So celerity actually isn't bad, because with 3 pieces of celerity I would get +2 double shot, and I would get permanent haste. So that's probably bad. Like I don't think I need permanent haste, because I'm pretty sure I have it from the gem that I have slotted. I'm pretty sure it does exactly the same thing that the haste spell does. So I think that's probably a waste of a 3-piece. I've not heard of anybody using celerity, so it's probably not even worth considering. Shadow Striker, I think would be really cool. I don't really care about Assassinate DCs. I do like the +1 dodge for the 3-piece, but what I would really want would be like that reflex save or the sneak attack die, and you only get those with 4 and 5. I only have 3. So I need something that's going to give me a really good 3-piece bonus. So the 3-piece bonus for 1 against many has nothing to do with range, so we're not going to even consider that. Long Shadow. This is it. This is exactly what we wanted. So this is what we're going to use. We're going to go to Long Shadow. This gives us 5 range power for 2 and +2 imbued eye for 3. That's exactly what we want. Right? So let's see how much of this Long Shadow stuff I have. All right, so the one I took out here is Dexterity. I have Attack and Damage. And then do I have Ranged Power? I do. Ranged right there. So range power, attack and damage, and then dexterity. Is there any other one in here that's better? Charisma, no. We would obviously use a reflex save one. I don't need the intelligence, melee, or stealth. So it would really be like, are any of these worse than reflex save? +2 to my reflex save, and it comes with an MRR. That's +1 to my dex. We want that. That's +1 to hit and damage. I kind of feel like we want that, and that's range power. Like we want. So no, there's no. I don't think that we can benefit from that. So basically, what's going to happen is for this is going to be our new piece, right? And so it's going to have these 3 long shadows in it. So there, there, and there, right? And then what I need to do is get the other. So this Dreadbringer ranged. Let's see if I have another one of those. I do. All right, so that's what we're going to use here. Okay. All right, so we're set now. So now when we do the changeover from this piece to this new piece, we'll have our Filigrees all set up. That's really good. Yeah, Long Shadow. I've never seen that set before, so that's good. The good thing about this necklace is it's part of that profane set that I was talking about building. So like I have this piece and I have this red raptor feather. So like I technically only need 3 more pieces and I can get that 5-piece going. Right? So this is where we're going to land. We'll wind up with this. And then that. At the moment, it's a little premature to do that. So, like, that hobbles us. But that's the goal. That's where we're going. So what we need to do next is go to that crafter, right? I absolutely love the key gen. Look at all that key. Look at all that, 159 just standing around. That's because of that. Contemplation is giving us key gen, and then being an ocean is giving us key gen. So we've got 2 sources. Super cool. All right, so this is the crafting station here. So you know what? I should probably like before I actually make one of these pieces. I should probably look and see if I actually have. So what do I need? I need a scale. And this is for a weapon. No, I need the scale for a piece of gear. All right, so here's that. So, like, obviously, this is my artifact. I want to slot it with dexterity 15, right? Like, so it'll be this one. Like, we're absolutely gonna make that. But what I want to do is go to my bank and just make sure that I haven't like made one of these in the past. It's possible that I may have. So I need to find scale. So we'll make scale dex and then the fang. All right, the fang is going to be. So we could do accuracy, we could do damage, we could do deception. That's a really good deception bonus, 11 with 17 extra damage of your sneak attacking. That's really good. Plus 14 crit confirmation and crit damage. That's really good too. Seeker. I'm not sure. What do you guys usually use for your fang, your range or melee fang? Like what's the I'm used to using these for spellcasters, like, so this is easy on a spellcaster. You just grab the extra 10% of whatever spell damage you're doing, but yeah, so we're already out of fang, so like it's gotta be either damage, accuracy, or seeker, right? Or maybe deception. I'm thinking maybe because I'm doing sneak attack, it's probably going to be deception, but I think before I actually pull the trigger, because these mats get so, like, expensive, I'm gonna ask around just to see what people recommend. I mean, from what I know, I think, like, I'm already getting accuracy, but maybe this is where I want to, like, get even more accuracy. Maybe that's, like, the most important one. I know I already have damage. The problem is, like, other things have this stuff, like, as an example, that cloak has 21 accuracy and 11. So, like, I'm already getting, like, there's 11 right there. There's 21. So, the thing I'm missing is deception. Like, that's the one that's kind of rarer. So, I think maybe that's the one to build for. And then also that Seeker 14 to confirm a crit. That's also something that's, like, super rare. I don't really see that a lot. Yeah, see, we have insightful deception plus 5 there, but so I'm just gonna have to see what the other gear is. Like, look, there's accuracy, so we definitely don't need accuracy. We already have that. We already have a tendon slice. Slow target by 50%. Although tendon slice only works. Does it work on ranged? I thought it only worked on melee. I thought it had to be crippling to work on range. Maybe it's just the way they have it, like, written out. Yeah, this particular. I was testing out that stunning 14. I think I was testing out legendary dreadnought, which is why that's in there. Like, I don't technically need to have that in there. So, like, there's just a lot of little things I need to min-max. Let's see what the claw is going to be. Alright, so I could grab PRR. Okay, there's a bunch of DCs. Assassinate. Thunder Trip, Stun. It looks like I should probably use that to grab PRR. Since my PRR is really low, I think that would be a good thing. And then the horn. 12 resists is good, but I don't think enhanced ghostly, that would be the place to get it, because if I take this ring off, I'd lose it. But you know what? Likely it's going to be, unless I can find it on another piece, is Relentless Fury, because that's a flat 5% damage boost. Like, that's really good. That procs all the time. So it's like probably the one that I'm going to have to go for. If I don't do that, if I don't have armor piercing, I would need to make sure that I have that. Yeah, and then I have to look through the augments that I have and like min-max them for decks. Like I said, I'm going to have to probably look around to see if I have a Festive Decks gem. If I don't, I'm going to have to buy one. I am wearing a Globe of True Imperial Blood though, right? Like right there. That gives me, what is that boost? That's exceptional bonuses to... Yeah, all right. So that's all of them get an exceptional +1. I could probably min-max that. Like, I don't think I need all of them. Like, I do like the Globes of Imperial Blood. They're kind of old now. I think maybe it would be better if I focused that slot on something else. Like, that belt, because it's con, and it's usually the belt that I use for... to boost my hit points, it probably would be the slot to put the Undying Sapphire in, right? Because the Undying Sapphire is going to keep me alive if I go and cap. So that's what we need to do there. And then the other thing I need to do is this offhand needs a... I'm thinking the one that I do is going to be... There's a horn weapon one that will reduce their PRR and MRR. And there's also one that will give me a temporary, 1,000 temporary hit points. So there's one. Attacks, reduce magic resist. Stacks of vulnerability. Reduces their PRR. That's right there, bright. Attacks have a chance to grant you 1,000 temporary hit points. And then this would be the other one. The shadow. Attacks reduce enemy PRR and MRR. I don't know how much PRR and MRR mobs usually have, right? I'm thinking, because I have such low hit points, probably doing the 1,000 hit point one would be better, right? This one here. I think we have enough mats that I can pull the trigger on this one, and then if I didn't find that it was like performing as I wanted it, I could always unslot it. I have enough that I could make the shadow as well. I mean, I don't want to make anything that I'm not going to absolutely use, but I think I really would benefit from that. Of the 1,000 hit points, but I just don't know enough about how often it procs. So this one here would probably make it so that we kill stuff faster. All right, so there's that. Now, the other thing I don't know is, like, does that slotted effect on an offhand work still, or do I have to slot that onto my main hand? Right? I just don't know enough about like whether or not that's, you know, if it applies. But so there's that. We made that. All right, so now we have that on the offhand. Okay, and I wanted to look and see if I had any red scale, the scale. I have a feeling they're all caster. All right, so I have wisdom and intelligence and light. I don't have dex. Let's see what fangs I have. Electric. I have bright fang. Offensive spells have chance to deal untyped damage, so that's for a weapon. That's not what I'm looking for, because I'm making an armor piece, right? Claw. Okay, it's way too many of those Iron Defender claws, and then a bunch of spellcaster ones. Okay. Yeah, I mean, why is it that these stack only at 100? Why aren't these stacking at 1,000? Like, that just seems so... I mean, we all know why they're only stacking at 100, but come on, they should stack at 1,000. Horn. Okay, I have no horns crafted at the moment. Okay. All right, so that looks like that's a good build then. Like, that's a good thing to make. So we'll do that. Right? Dex. Okay, there's our dexterity. So now we've got a plus 15 dexterity necklace. And like I said, before I actually like fill in these pieces, I'm going to talk around with people, but I think based on what I'm seeing, and you guys, maybe somebody out there has an opinion, but I think it's going to be, because I don't really care about heal amp, right? I mean, it's nice to have. Damage and accuracy we're getting on a lot of different pieces. The only thing that I don't really see around a lot is this deception or the seeker. So it's going to be like between these. I just want to know, like, I'm probably going to talk to people in Discord and see what they think based on the other gear that's out there. And then I can't imagine anything being better than the PRR, the 35 PRR for me. Like, yeah, those 15 trip is nice, but like I'm not using assassinate, I'm not using trip, I'm not using sunder. If I were in legendary, like using the legendary dreadnought epic strike, yeah, that would be good. But so it's probably going to be PRR, and then the next one is probably going to be Relentless Fury unless I can get that somewhere else, and then it's going to be Enhanced Ghostly unless I can get that somewhere else, and then it would be Armor Piercing if I didn't have that. I think that's pretty much it, right? Because this, now we're in armor buffs. Tavern Tales is raiding us. I appreciate the raid, man. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. Hope you guys had a good stream. Kevin Head, good to see you. Yeah, what's up, everybody? Hope you guys had a good stream. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. We're messing around with my monk. So we redid my monk thrower as a dragon disciple and tried that out. And it was not very good. After talking with a bunch of people who do ranged a lot, we decided that we were going to alter the build and get into a dexterity monk thrower instead of a wisdom based monk thrower. So that's what we did. I reincarnated. Now we are dexterity based, and we're using a build modified from I talked to a player named Legion. You guys probably know him and heard of him. He's the dude who did like the Reaper Wings and Hardcore. I forget what season it was, 8 or 9. But he's a super good player. He's a really solid build, and so I think this is sort of like what the meta is for throwers now. Ninja Spy, 41-ish points, and then Horizon Walker to get the trance and to get this hunter focus. And then we're getting Imbued Eye from Henshin. We're also getting our passive key gen from here. If I had more points, I'd go up into this tree here, but I don't have enough to get up to that, so we're using Sting of the Ninja as our imbue toggle. You could also, if you had a bunch of points, use this Elemental Soul. That's also an imbue toggle that we messed around with. That was pretty good. But so it's really simple, straightforward now. It gives us access to a lot of stuff. Talking to people, Shadow Double is supposedly busted. It's only a point, so like at some point in the future, if it gets fixed, I can switch to it. And then for epics, obviously we're in Shirati still, 35 points. We're still in Shadow Dancer. And then the new ad here is Fate Singer, which we're using the Fate Singer Epic Strikes, taking advantage of the Sonic Resonance, and then we're doubling the damage with this Master of Acoustics here. So, you know, it makes it like, that was 20,000 Sonic damage on that dude. It's like quite big hits, you know, see that 13,000, like they're quite big, a lot more damage than we were seeing as a Wisdom, 17,000 on that dinosaur there. So like it's just super great. The other great thing about this Epic Strike is it's up every 5 seconds. When I was in Shirati using Pin has a cooldown of 15 seconds and the DPS is a lot lower. Yes, it has a pretty decent CC, you know, it can make them dance for a while, but if you upgrade it, it's just not overall as good as Epic Strike as Fate Singer. Fate Singer has probably some of the best Epic Strikes, I think, in the game. And then it also gives us access to that Arrow of Discord, which is another really nice attack. That one's up every 15 seconds, but that's an AoE. And it has a, I can use stunning bonuses on that one there to boost it. Which that's going to have to be something that we take into account as we gear up. So we're in the gear up phase right now. We've got Mark Target, like we've got a lot of good stuff. We're healing with with scrolls and healing spring. We're using 10,000 stars. We have our action boost for range power. We're using Reaper Strike range diversion. We have our inexorable advance. Like it's super good. There's our trance. So all in all, I think our DPS went way up switching over to this. And we've sort of min-maxed our Filigrees a lot. They're a lot better than they were. And if anybody is wondering what I'm using, right now I'm using Manticore, Dreadbringer, and Nextfall. But when we upgrade, the new set I will be using is going to be, we're going to be dropping Nextfall for Long Shadow. So the Long Shadow will give us more range power and more Imbued Eye. So we'll get a bunch more damage there. But I'm not going to switch over until to that necklace until I look around and get some more. I just need to look, like, you know, I have to do the Tetris through the bot, like the loot bot army that I have that are holding all of the gear. I have to check the one that's holding Isle of Dread stuff and see if I have stuff over there, and then try to see if I can put together, you know, a set. And if not, then I did log in a bunch of my characters and grab that genie buff, you know, the loot buff. I lost it on this character because we less were reincarnated, but I do have it on a bunch of the other characters on this server. So what I'll probably do is like loot farm Isle of Dread on them. Like my main has that buff and a couple other of my characters. And I'll just try to farm out pieces for this. So I want to do a 3-piece and a 5-piece Isle of Dread. If I can't for some reason do like the 5-piece Isle of Dread, then I probably would try for the 5-piece Vecna set. So it just all depends. So I'm not in a rush to finish out these gear sets, but that's sort of the plan. So there's a good chance, like Friday, today Wednesday, Friday when I play, I'll probably like live stream. I'll probably run the Isle of Dread saga on my main, just because I'm, you know, farming for gear for this character. Now, the unfortunate thing though is that this is on Sarlona, right? Like I have not yet moved this character. I will be moving this character. So people on Cormyr have asked me when I'm going to do like saga runs again, and like that would be a perfect time to do Isle of Dread and Vecna saga, right, for the guild. I could also try to get some loot then, but like I won't be doing this on Cormyr yet. Like I need to move my main and this thrower tune over to Cormyr, and we don't yet know when that's going to be. You know what I mean? Like they haven't really let us know when they're going to do that. I have a feeling it's probably going to be in the second quarter. You can see the numbers, right? The numbers look really, really good. So it's working out here. I just don't know enough about like what procs in the offhand. So for example, like I slotted that offhand. I know I get the dex bonus, but I'm not seeing the adamantine. I don't know if I'm seeing the untyped damage. I'm not sure if I'm seeing the PRR and MRR debuffs, right? So I'll probably look on this boss that I'm going to fight just to see. But it may be that I have to move some of this stuff off of that offhand onto my main hand and remove some of this stuff off of this, right? Like is Crystal Bishik the best one to have melt? I think so. I see a lot of people using melt scale. Is Melt Fang? I think so. I think most people use Melt Fang, right? Like Ice Claw, that's exceptional wisdom. Technically, I could make that dexterity, but I have dexterity on that offhand, so it doesn't matter. Ice Horn works really well for like spell casting, but there's probably something better I can use for this thrower. So should it be Shadowhorn and give me the debuff? Will the debuff proc if it's in my offhand? I just don't know. So I'm sure somebody knows, but we're gonna have to figure it out since, you know, we're kind of doing this. Like, I did talk to a bunch of people last week. I talked to Legion probably for like 5 hours, picking his brain on all this stuff. So a lot of the build decisions that I'm making are as a result of the conversation with him. So all the credit for how this build works goes to Legion, not to me. But, you know, I mean, I've been playing the game long enough that as soon as, like, I talk to him, I'm like, oh, okay, I understand exactly why you're doing that, because it synergizes with this, yada yada, you know, like, makes a lot of sense. So, obviously, like, easy. It's no brain question to, like, change over to this. Like, it's way better. Alright, so this is where we want to kind of watch and see if I'm doing a debuff on him. Oh, I did. Okay. Alright, hold on. And this is a good opportunity for you guys to just see the basic damage. And then let me put my puncher's mark on him. Alright, so melted his armor. Ninja poison, mark target. Throwing storm, okay. So I wonder if that melted armor is from Shadow, this here. In case you guys are wondering what I'm asking about, it's this. Sorry. That. Attacks have a chance to reduce PRR and MRR of the monster. I'm thinking that's exactly what we're seeing, right? Like, when I do this, can I view him? Yeah, that melted armor. I think that's it. Anyway, okay, so. $16,000 Sonic. $55,000 I just hit him for. Like, that's one of the biggest hits that I've seen. So, I mean, that's really good. Yeah, so I think the offhand stuff is working. I think that is working. Which is good to know. What I probably would do is switch out the Ice Horn one that locks them in ice. Although I do like I do like that, but I think probably what would serve me better is to have the one that gives me the 1,000 hit points. So I'll have to, like, spend another 50 pearls and make that. But I probably won't do that right away. I'll probably do that after I have everything else made. Just to see where my hit points lie. Like, if I can get myself in Reaper to, like, 2,100 hit points, or, you know, somewhere close to that, I'd be fine with not using it. It's just I'm worried if my hit points are always going to be around 1,500-ish, then I probably would want to add another, like, temporary hit point to me. Those temporary hit points, like, they're really nice. Like, my Warlock gets a lot of temporary hit points, so. The dragon is here, so we'll go fight him. Not sure how I'll do against the dragon. The dragon's a bit of a pain, but we should be fine. I'm gonna throw down my target dummy right there. Hopefully the dragon attacks it. I'm not holding the right weapon. There we go. Do I have him marked? Yes, alright. I did not. Oh, he's gonna kill me. Okay, here we go. The problem with scroll healing is, like, I'll accidentally take the star out of my hand. Alright, he's marked. I'm attacking. I've got heals going. He's almost dead. Yeah. There, he's dead. We got 4 pearls. It's not bad. Yeah, that's messy, but I don't really like healing Spring as like a wild empathy charge thing. I think it should just be like you can do it every 15 seconds or whatever they want to make it, every 30 seconds. I don't think it should be tied so you only get 8 uses of it. I think you should just be able to cast it. Even if they made it so that you had to pay more spell points. I just don't like the idea of repurposing. I don't know, maybe you guys disagree, but this here, these wild empathy charges, who has wild empathy, right? Like druids, rangers, like that's it. Like, I could have switched to Sun to fight him. I probably should have. My DPS would have been better. Right, we can always switch to Sun stance to make our DPS go up, but I lose one of my key gens at that point. But it really doesn't matter though, because we have 2. So we would always get to do our 1,000 stars again, but having the 2 makes it so that we can do the 10,000 stars really, like, reliably, so. Super cool, but we have a lot of work to do, as Saruman says. Like this, yeah, my gear is garbage. I'm just really far from where I want to be. My dex is, I need to get that dex up to like near 100. Like legit. Like I have a lot of work to do. I have 30 something points of dex to get. I kind of want my wisdom there or higher. I want my con higher. Like I have to focus on really sort of blasting my gear up. I should have all the pieces to make the puzzle work. But it's going to be a lot of like logging in and out the bot army of people holding gear. Which is, it's shit. You guys know that, right? Like, you probably do that on your account, too. It's like, I have all this legendary gear spread out across 20 tunes. I'm going to have to, like, try to see where, you know, anything is. And then also, like, track down, have I used all of the gems, like the topazes, the sapphires, you know, are there any that I can reuse from some older build that I'm not playing anymore? We hit that dude for 8,000. Like, our damage is way better. So I haven't seen the crazy numbers like the people I were talking to. I watched, you know, Legion brought his thrower into a raid and he was hitting the boss for like 250,000. Like, I haven't seen anything that big, but I did hit the boss out here for almost 60,000. So, I mean, that's really good. That's way more damage than I was doing in my wisdom-based one using falconry. And so just to follow up with that, like I said this before we GR'd, like that one is totally viable. It works. It's fun. It's just not that high damage. So it really falls off if you do like mid to high Skull Reaper. But if you were the type of player who just wanted to casually play normal hard elite or R1, you could easily do the thrower wisdom falconry build and have a good time. Like it still was good. It just is not... the damage isn't as crazy as this, but there was a little bit more, because you did have access to renewal, there was a little bit more sort of like relaxed. I won't say survivability, because I'm still just survivable, but I have to do the concentration scroll cast thing, whereas renewal is super easy, you know. Overall, though, the dex is sort of way better. It's much more meta. It's much more in line with the present meta of the game. So, like, you probably would be welcome in any raid if you're doing a ranged dex build, whether you're doing Inquisitive or a thrower or whatever, you know, whatever you decided to do. The chest is not up, so we're not going to kill those griffins. I might as well talk about this now because you guys are hanging out with me. So, like, the Dragon Disciple, I tried, man. I really, really tried to make that work. So I have one at Cap. You guys saw me messing around on it, trying out different strikes and trying out different things. I just cannot get the key gen to work. I cannot get the... because it's just bad. And I cannot get the DCs to hit, so none of the spells hit. The SLAs all just turn into garbage and legendaries. So what I ended up doing to fix that is I decided to go all in on Feydark Illusionist and go tier 5 and grab the Blade Wall. And then I dropped every single SLA from Dragon Disciple, and basically now I'm playing it as a melee, a pure melee. Like, I have single weapon fighting and all that, those feats to boost the melee fighting, and then the only I have 50% like permanent displacement. The only spells I'm casting are the Blade Wall, and then I also think I took like Shadow Blades, the AoE one. Those are the only two real spells that I'm doing, except for Color Spray. We're also Color Spraying to CC stuff. So basically, I throw a Blade Wall, I Color Spray, I hit stuff with my sword, my short sword, because I'm in Ninja Spy, and everything dies, and I don't need to worry about ki, I don't need to worry about, because I'm generating plenty of ki melee, I don't need to worry about spell points, I don't really need to worry about DCs, because... the Blade Wall is really good. The Feydark Blade Wall, even if they make their saves, I'm pretty sure they still take damage. And then Color Spray and the Shadow Blades, like, I don't really even need the Shadow Blades because I'm really just Color Spraying. It's just a build that's keyed on like the power of Color Spray and the helplessness damage that I'm getting. So I think that I would report that Dragon Disciple. I think it's a like an interesting archetype as an idea, but in practice, it's just bad. Like, in gameplay, it's not good at all. So I think I've done the best I can to make it. It plays closer now to an Eldritch Knight, but I think it probably should have been the monk version of Eldritch Knight, where you don't need to have a spell DC at all. It's just basically your attacks. Whether they did it with Imbue Die or something else, your attacks would just boost on damage to your melee attack, and that would allow you to just run around as a hybrid whacking stuff and then doing extra elemental damage. That would have been nice. The DC casting really falls off hard after heroics and gets to be completely stupid. Yeah, we one-shotted that dinosaur. Yeah, so this is orders of magnitude more godly than what I was doing on my thrower. So this is good. This was definitely a really good change. And like, there have been a lot of people writing me on my YouTube channel telling me that I need to switch to dexterity and to stop trying to, you know, play wisdom. And I'm like, yeah, I'm getting there. I will eventually get there. And so we did, but it's still terrible now. Like, we have a tome. I just need to get some better gear. It's all gear now. So we've got the build in place now. I'm just filling it out with gear. But it plays well enough now that I can just do this easy content, you know? I think that's cool. I'm really upset that I lost my genie buff when I reincarnated. I don't think that you should lose that. I think it should be persistent. I also think they should have left the vendor who gives out that buff. I think that genie should have been available all the time for anyone whose account is 18 years or older should be able to get that buff anytime they want. I mean, they do that kind of stuff in Lord of the Rings Online. If your account is, you know, there are certain things you can do on your account if it's, you know, so-and-so in age. So I think that would be a really good perk for people who've been playing for a long time to have access to that discovery bonus from the Djinn. And it's not even like it makes it that crazy. You know, like, I've had the bonus for the last, whatever it was, couple weeks, and maybe I looted a couple extra things, but it's not like I got a whole ton of extra stuff. Anyway, like, you know, it would be cool. Leave the genie out for... See how fast I can kill this dude. 12,000, 16,000. 20,000 Sonic there. 47,000 Sonic. Nice. Got a dagger. That's good. 3 black pearls. For some reason, I'm all out of heals. I think I need to go to a bar and reset it. For those curious, we have a really good bunch of defensives at the moment. We're going to try to keep them, but almost 50% dodge, so really, really good considering that we're running around in a robe. All that stuff is just going to go in the bank, and I'll have my crafter melt it down. Right, all this stuff. Oh no, that's character bank. All right, and that's what we're working on. Yeah, we're not ready to put that on yet, though. Almost. How do you guys like the new raid? I've heard good things about it. I've also heard that the optional is super fun. I haven't tried it yet. I plan to. All right, I'm gonna stretch and refresh my tea. So I'm gonna open the build if you guys want to examine it. And I'll be back. Hopefully the camera doesn't freak out like last time. Yeah, it's weird not having a little like NPC from one of these. I'm so used to having that Fadark one or the Falcon. I think we have the build pretty min-maxed. I'm not seeing anything else. Like all this extra stuff in Horizon is for bows. That doesn't really add much. That threat drop is nice, but we couldn't afford it. Extra action boost is nice, but we didn't have enough. Max dodge bonus would be good. So agility here, this would be good to grab if we had more points. Can't use that. That's supposed to be busted. We're not doing a lot of sneaking. I guess we could. So if we had points, we could grab that. There is a lot of stuff over here. If I had the racial points, I could grab like to hit damage with the shuriken. I could grab an imbue toggle here. I could grab imbue die here. I could grab more dodge here. So like there's a bunch of stuff, but this character doesn't have any extra racial points except for the 3 from the tome that I got for, what is it, Mithran or whatever. Which is what I was saying back when Mithranor was for sale. And I said, if you buy the collector edition, while it's like 130 ridiculous dollars, super expensive. It's like the price of 2 AAA games, right? But you buy that, what it does is it gives your account on every character access to a +3 racial tome. So if you have 40 characters, you get 40 +3 racial tomes, one for each character, right? You can just keep making characters and getting a racial tome on them. So it's like future proofing your, if you change servers, if you decide to do something completely different, you have the ability to pick up a +3 tome on that character. They're on sale right now in the store. I think they're super expensive just by themselves, like $30 or something like that. So that's just for one character. So if you, I think you guys probably already knew this, but if you're a fan of the game and you like to play it, those collector editions do make a lot of sense, specifically because it allows you to capture the power on all your characters as opposed to piecemealing it out later, you know? So like Sharn gave us +1 universal. I think it was Vecna that gave us another +1 universal, so now we have +2 universals. Those are super great, like having those extra universal points, having the extra racial points. It helps because now on this character is not absolutely first life. It's got 2 past lives, 1 heroic and 1 epic, but It's, you know, it's enough that I only had to spend 5 points in this tree because I had a bunch there, so makes it a little bit easier to get the build up and running. You can still do it though. You don't need to have like all the extra stuff. You can still do a modified version. Just build it, you know, as good as you can. Like you could probably drop that spell resist right there. You want to have the decks. You could probably drop No Mercy down a little because it's not like you're doing a lot. Like you do helpless, but it's not like you're making things helpless all the time. You don't want to drop that. Technically, you could drop that, although it's really nice to have it. It's really nice to have that too. Technically, you could get rid of Crippling Strike. Somebody could make an argument that that's probably like of all this up here, that's like the least useful one. You really don't want to drop any of that. You could technically get rid of this, but I mean, what else would you get? You have to get up, right? So just need to get those two. You want to have that core tier Dauntless there. Yeah, that one's good. And then this over here, like Contemplation is really good, but aside from like that, hitting these two here and making sure you get the capstone over here at Ninja Spy, like you could mess around with it a little bit if you had to as well. You could probably also drop, you know, not do anything in your racial tree if you like literally had no points. The other thing too is instead of making a drow, you could make a tabaxi. Supposedly they synergize pretty well with the thrower. So Vecna, I'm gonna have to look at the gear over there and see how it's doing. See if there's anything worth me getting. Yeah, so I'm gonna look and see who's streaming now. I want to kind of call it here. We can go for 4.5 hours. I want to try to get something to eat before it gets too late. I appreciate all you guys hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I'm gonna be posting all the changes that I made and the build to the DDO forum. It'll be under the monk section. There's a lot of notes that I have to go along with, like the certain decisions and the ideas, and so I'll add all those to the build. I'll try to keep it brief though, but anybody who's sort of new to it or is sort of wondering about different details, I can list out a couple things that might help.
How to live in the real world. I forget how to live without rolling the die. And my dice have 20 sides, and I heard there's a dungeon nearby. Let's go find a dragon and make it fly. If can find treasure, I will try. Let's play Dungeons and Dragons.